Hey everyone, tonight's confession is different. It's not just a story, it's a warning. With Halloween coming up, we all crave that thrill, that rush of adrenaline. But sometimes, what starts as a harmless dare can turn into something far more dangerous. I know because I learned it the hard way. It was Halloween night, and like every year, my friends and I gathered for our usual tradition: scary movies, spooky stories, and of course, the dares. We'd always push each other to do crazy things, sneak into abandoned places, stay in the cemetery after midnight, you name it. But that night, one dare changed everything.
All right, guys, this year's dare is simple. We're going to summon a spirit, and not just any spirit, the spirit of Madeline Crow.
I remember laughing it off, trying to play along, even though every instinct told me to walk away. You see, there's an old legend in our town about Madeline Crow, a girl who went missing on Halloween night decades ago and was never found. People say she still haunts the old school building where she was last seen. But I didn't believe in any of that back then.
All right, guys, this year's dare is simple. We're going to summon a spirit, and not just any spirit, the spirit of Madeline Crow.
I remember laughing it off, trying to play along, even though every instinct told me to walk away. You see, there's an old legend in our town about Madeline Crow, a girl who went missing on Halloween night decades ago and was never found. People say she still haunts the old school building where she was last seen. But I didn't believe in any of that back then. We made a circle around the board, hands trembling as we placed them on the planchette. Someone joked, "If you're here, Madeline, show us a sign." The room felt colder, like the air had thickened. We laughed it off, pretending we weren't scared, but then the planchette started moving.
Okay, who's messing with us? Cut it out!
But no one was laughing anymore. We looked at each other, and I swear, we all felt it. We weren't alone. We scrambled to turn on our flashlights, but then we heard it, a faint, distant cry, almost like a child's voice. It called out, "Help me!" I froze. The sound seemed to be coming from the end of the hallway. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it had burst out of my chest, but my friend Jason stood up and said, "We have to check it out." There she was, a girl in an old tattered dress. Her face was pale, her eyes empty. She whispered again, "Help me find my way home." Jason stepped closer, reaching out, but as soon as his fingers brushed against her shoulder, she vanished, just disappeared. And then everything went black. We woke up outside. No memory of how we got there, no idea what happened. My phone showed that it was 7 a.m. We had been inside for hours, but it felt like minutes. Jason, he wasn't the same after that night. None of us were. He started having nightmares, saying he could hear Madeline's voice calling him, begging him to come back. 2 weeks later, he moved away. He wouldn't talk to us, wouldn't see us, like he wanted to forget that night ever happened. I still think about it sometimes. Was it real? Did we really see her? Or was it just a prank that went too far? I don't know, but I do know one thing. Ever since that night, strange things have been happening. I'd hear whispers, find doors that I know I closed wide open, and sometimes I'd see a shadow at the corner of my eye, a shadow wearing a tattered dress. So here's my advice. If you're planning to mess around this Halloween, think twice. Some spirits don't want to be disturbed. Some dares aren't meant to be taken. You don't know what's real and what's not until it's too late. Thanks for listening to my confession. If you've got your own Halloween stories, share them in the comments. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more creepy confessions and chilling tales. Remember, sometimes the scariest things aren't the ones we see, but the ones we can't explain.